Don't know if it's going to stay or not. It's snowing. I'm at the school picking little kids up from school and big kids up from school. Linda volunteered to, but gotta have my son Chris do a brake job on this pickup first before she does anything like that. And my van is better equipped to driving this stuff than this truck is right now, but and so's the Navigator. The reason I didn't bring the Navigator is because of muddy feet, you know, climbing over seats and stuff, and I don't want to dirty up Nick's car. Let me get a sip. I'll be here about a half an hour, probably. The vlog isn't going to go that long. I started to do it a while ago, and I couldn't get the stand to fit right. I spoke with my youngest adopted son, Matt, a while ago and explained what I'm doing. I've got to go film some this afternoon after I get the kids home from school. I've got one of my expensive cameras charging right now. I'll be using it this evening at the same location. So I've alluded to this, and I might have even put a video of the place up before. And it's going to be my first episode right down the road from where we live. I won't mention names on the actual episode I'm doing, even though they're in the public domain. But a few years ago, about 3 years ago, I guess. Okay, let me back way up. I have a young man that I love with my whole heart. His name is Justin Counts. Dusty Counts. He's had a real rough life of it. So's his brother Kevin. So's his late brother Sean. But Dusty there for a while was married to a gal named Brandy Bolton. And she's a big girl, a very violent girl. Now, all those Counts boys are rougher than a corn cob. They just really are. Dusty had a son named Tristan with his former girlfriend April, who's a real pretty girl. But anyway, Dusty's got a few children, I think 4 or 5 altogether. He had twins with Brandy Bolton when he was married to her. Now, the Counts boys are rough. They are. They're from Darty, Dougherty. And Darty boys are tough. My son Chris has it tattooed on one of his arms on the inside. Darty boy. There are different instances where people would show up at Darty to show how tough they were going to take over, and they would leave licking their wounds. They play rough, only they don't really play. And as hard and sometimes mean and as tough as the Counts boys are, their mother taught them one thing that always took with them, and my boys were taught the same thing by their mother. You don't hit a woman. So Brandy Bolton would just beat the snot out of Dusty, and he'd just take it or he'd leave. Well, they had twin sons together, and Dusty's got the boys now. He's had them, raising them, and he's remarried, living down in Marietta. But Brandy was always mean. She's in state penitentiary at Mabel Bassett right now. She got convicted of murder. Now, what's that got to do with my video tonight? Well, a few years ago, Brandy and her then boyfriend were down at the end of our road, Classen Road, south of Davis, and I heard when the sirens went by that night. I just didn't realize what it was till I found out later. They got in an argument. They were drinking whiskey and doing methamphetamine at the same time, and she just torqued off, and she had a butcher knife, and she stabbed her boyfriend right in the heart with it. And then got worried and called the sheriff, called 911 to report that her boyfriend was bleeding and get someone there, and later it was proven that she stabbed him to death. Well, why would I go down there to film? I've got some really specialized equipment. Now, I have friends that say, it's not Bible. There's no such things as ghosts. I want you to think of something for a minute. I know that people linger here on this plane of existence sometimes and don't go to the light, don't immediately go to hell. They're independently minded, and if they're not a good person, a loved one usually doesn't meet them to cross over. I don't know that for a fact, but I've read up on it. But what I do know is, let me back up on this. My late father and my younger brother Chris were sitting in his living room one night in Skiatook, Oklahoma. This is prior to my brother Chris marrying his ex-wife Beverly. He had divorced his first wife. She was horrendous. And at that time, she had custody of Chambrianne, and later she went to prison. Chambry can't stand her mother. I think she might love her, but anyway, let me get a sip. My dad was Indian. I'm Native American. My sister Randy, all my siblings are Native American. My brother Chris is Native American. And even though my father was a really in-depth and devout Christian, and what he and my brother Chris experienced in no way negates any of that. They were sitting in Chris's living room during a thunderstorm, and a cloud, a small ball-like cloud, came through the wall and passed through and went through the other wall. It freaked my brother Chris plumb out, and Dad said, well, don't be scared about it. And Chris asked him, what was that? And he said, when it thunderstorms, the spirits get restless. Now, people can call me a liar. I don't care. I've seen some things. And I've got a FLIR camera that shows different density of heat and cold. I'm going to try it out and see if it shows anything today and tonight down there at the end of the road. And the reason I say that, I took it with Brandon and we went down, and also my ghost meter pegged. It's a radio frequency meter. Every human being alive has a thermal radio frequency of 6.4, that general area. And the thing is, you take the ghost meter, the radio frequency meter, and you take that FLIR camera, and you take the other cameras. If something's there, you're going to pick it up. I've also got audio equipment, but it won't pick up quote-unquote ghostly voices, and I don't think that's possible anyway, but that's just my opinion. But I was down there with Brandon, and he said, all that is just something that's blue. They don't always have a human form. You've got to understand something. They're in between being assigned to their respective place by the Creator. They haven't gone to hell. They've not gone to paradise, or they've not gone to where God sends us when we die. They're just there. And, you know, there's an axiom I've referred to before. When someone dies, they don't know they're dead. And it's the same with stupid people. When they're stupid, they don't know they're stupid. And I've had that proven to me on numerous occasions. You have someone that is not the brightest bulb in the package, and yet they think they're just smarter than everybody else. And I've found that low IQ people tend to be a lot sneakier than others and a lot more crafty, a lot craftier. But that is what I'm doing this afternoon, is I'm going to go down there in the van. This pickup needs a brake job. It'll get one here next week probably when Chris is feeling better. He's ill today. And all will be well with it. The van is better suited to track in this weather because even though it doesn't have a differential in the front, I don't fully understand how they do it, but it is designated as all-wheel drive. A lot of the old Astro vans, even though they didn't have a differential in the front, they were rated as all-wheel drive. I think they put a servo or something in there. I don't know. But this has got a little button you push to take it out of overdrive. The van's got the same button, but it doesn't take it out of overdrive. It does it like Linda's old Navigator, her newer old Navigator did. You push that and all of a sudden you've engaged all 4 tires to pull. Don't fully understand the engineering on all that. I have experience doing it firsthand in mud, and it did make a difference. It pulled you right out of it. Now, I'm sitting at the school, like I said. Let me get a sip. And when I leave here, I'll be heading straight home with the children. And then I'll be leaving I'll warm my van up after I get my office unlocked. And I'll let it idle and warm up while I'm prepping equipment. And then Benjamin and I will go and we'll film. I'll be setting up a tripod with my better camera. I won't be using this one. I don't know, I might use that one, but I doubt it. The other one I have, it does a much better job, more expensive camera. I'm not talking about the real expensive one that's charging right now. It's just another camera I have that does it records really well. Yeah, I don't know if any of these snowflakes are showing up. I might just pull this thing and I don't know if you can see it or not. I could do that. Yeah, you can see it now. See a few snowflakes. But I've rambled on long enough. Now see who that is. I want all of you watching this to know that I do love you. I really and truly do love you. If you're watching this, you are loved by me. And I want God to bless you. And that is not just a figure of speech. I do want God to bless you. Also, I want you to bless others. Pay it forward, if you will. I want you to know there is a God and He does love you. You're His children. And if we were in my office, above my left shoulder, you would see a sign that says, "Be kind." Think about that. You know, I have a younger adopted son named Michael Deoust. He and his dad and mom have a fire extinguisher business. And he sends me, every now and then, he'll send me photographs of little placards he's seen in different schools he services fire extinguishers in that have something to do with kindness. And I think that is so cool. Now, I've got to get off of here. It's almost time for the babies to be running out of class. It's 2:40. And the beautiful Zara Rose has to come get in this pickup with Pawpaw. Then I got to go pick Ashton up. Then I got to get Cheyenne and Aurora, and then I got to get them home, and then I'm got to go in my office and do that. Well, I love you. God bless you. Be kind.
And bye.